In this VVN story, we are taking a deep dive into the recent failed presidential campaign of Ron DeSantis. The Florida governor's bid for the White House was marked by several key issues, including fundraising challenges, a high-profile feud with Disney, and a contentious battle with fellow Republicans Donald Trump and Nikki Haley. DeSantis's campaign faced significant financial hurdles. Despite initial strong fundraising, the campaign struggled to maintain momentum. A significant portion of the funds raised came from donors who had already reached their maximum contribution limit, leaving DeSantis in a difficult position to find new large donors. His campaign also faced criticism for its reliance on a super PAC, which, despite its initial promise, exposed the risks of depending on loopholes in campaign finance laws. By October 2023, DeSantis's campaign had only $5 million in cash available for the primary, raising doubts about his solvency and ability to compete with frontrunner Donald Trump. DeSantis's feud with Disney also played a significant role in his campaign. The conflict began when Disney publicly opposed a state law banning classroom discussions on certain topics, and DeSantis retaliated by taking over the governing district that provides municipal services for Disney. This move was seen by many as a violation of Disney's free speech rights, leading to a series of legal battles. Despite DeSantis's claims of victory in this feud, the ongoing legal battles and public backlash may have damaged his reputation and standing with voters. In the Republican primary, DeSantis found himself in a tough battle with Donald Trump and Nikki Haley. Despite his efforts to position himself as a viable alternative to Trump, DeSantis struggled to gain traction. His campaign was marked by a smaller ground operation and a contentious relationship with Haley, who criticized DeSantis's campaign as being out of touch with reality. Ultimately, DeSantis ended his campaign and endorsed Trump, leaving Haley as Trump's last long-shot challenger for the Republican nomination. Rumors about DeSantis's height also circulated during his campaign. Despite his claim of being 5'11", some social media users and even expert shoemakers suggested that he might be wearing concealed lifts inside his cowboy boots to appear taller. These speculations were fueled by observations that his cowboy boots seemed shorter than typical Western boots, which would not accommodate a lift, and that the ball of his foot appeared to be protruding several inches from behind the tip of the boot. This rumor was even picked up by late-night show hosts, adding to the narrative of a campaign struggling with image issues. DeSantis's ability to smile, or rather his perceived inability, was another point of discussion. His attempts at smiling during debates were often described as awkward and stiff, leading to a series of memes and jokes on social media. A body language expert noted that DeSantis's smile lacked the authenticity of a Duchenne smile, where the corners of the mouth lift and the eyes crinkle, suggesting genuine happiness. Instead, DeSantis's smile was often described as robotic or unsettling, which may have contributed to a perception of inauthenticity. While DeSantis's political journey may be filled with uncertainty, it's clear that he still possesses considerable potential. As Florida's governor, he continues to be a prominent figure within the Republican Party, wielding influence over the third most populous state in the country. DeSantis has carved out a niche for himself as a champion of the American family's economic interests, underpinned by a 10-point economic plan that blends traditional Republican values with populist principles. His Declaration of Economic Independence, as he calls it, may well serve as the cornerstone for his future political pursuits. Despite the disappointment of his presidential campaign, DeSantis now has the chance to refocus his efforts on his gubernatorial duties and build a lasting legacy in Florida. He has shown more engagement with environmental issues than is often recognized, and there are several areas where he could potentially make a significant impact. Political pundits propose that DeSantis could use this period to reflect on the shortcomings of his presidential campaign and strategize for the future. There's also the possibility of him working to restore his reputation, potentially setting the stage for another presidential bid, perhaps in 2028. However, the path forward is fraught with challenges. DeSantis will have to skillfully navigate the political terrain, striking a balance between his conservative ideologies and the needs and aspirations of his constituents. His future political triumphs will likely hinge on his ability to learn from his previous campaign, adapt to evolving political trends, and maintain effective governance in Florida. In summary, Ron DeSantis' presidential campaign was beset by a host of challenges, including fundraising issues, a public dispute with Disney, and a fierce competition with fellow Republicans. These factors, coupled with the dynamics of the Republican primary, ultimately culminated in the termination of his campaign. As we progress through this election cycle, it will be fascinating to observe how these developments influence the future trajectory of the Republican Party and the 2024 presidential election. That's all for now. Make sure to follow us for more news. This is Virtual Vanguard News signing off.